Hey, welcome to Talking Stage. I am your host, Mimi. No filter, no sugarcoating, just honest conversation about love, situationships, and everything in between. So, today we're going to be talking about a dying breed, the Yearners. You know who they are? Maybe you're one of them. Those people that love so deeply from afar, but do nothing, absolutely nothing about it. Before we go any further, all yearners are not created equal. They are different breeds, and I need you to identify yourself right now. First, we have the ghost yearners. They never shut their shots, they are just there, silently suffering and watching their love from afar. Right now, they are somewhere watching their person's reels. We see you. Then we have the brave ones, yes, those that summoned courage to shoot their shots, but alas, it went horribly, horribly wrong. But they're still yearning because the heart is not a logical organ. The heart wants what it wants. Then we have the manifestos. They yearn so hard, so intentionally, that somehow the universe just did it for them. I mean, we respect it. And finally, my personal favorite, which is the deillusioned yearner. This person actually got their person. You got the person that they were yearning for, but somehow they realized that their fantasy was better than the reality, and now they are just quietly mourning the version they made up in their head. So let's start with the first one that we all are, or at some point have been, the ghost yearners. You know this person, they've had a relationship entirely planned out in their head. Morning texts that never get sent, dates that, well, only happen in their imagination, playlists solely dedicated to this person that doesn't know that they exist. I know we want to laugh at this person or at yourself. But let's be honest, ghost yearners, they love the most and the hardest. I mean, no confessions, no rejection, just pure, unfiltered feelings. But the sad part is, love was never meant to be a one person sport, unless we're counting self love. So if you're a ghost yearner, you know you are. Let me ask you something. What are you afraid of? Are you protecting yourself? Because, there's a difference between being careful with your heart and, well, building a vault or a fortress around your heart and calling it peace. It's not peace. Because the shot you never took, well, you're still yearning. So, how is that peace? I mean, every day you wake up wishing for more, going through their reels and wishing they knew you existed. That's not peace. That's just you lying to yourself. Next up, the brave ones. First, respect. Because, it takes real courage to actually shoot your shots and even more courage to shoot and miss. Sorry. But seriously though, it takes real strength to actually shoot your shots and miss and still have to go on existing around that person like nothing happened. I mean, the ground didn't open and swallow you. You just have to move on. I know what's even cooler. In the era of ghosters and silent yearners, the brave ones actually took initiative. You know, the even braver ones did it face to face, and well, when it didn't go right, even though it didn't go right, I mean, they did something. Heart racing, palms sweating. They pulled themselves up and walked up to this person, and they confessed their feelings. I mean, it might have been hit with, "Oh, I value our friendship." Which, let's be honest, is basically a restraining order. Or even worse, they did it online and they got left on red. And yet the yearners are out there, still yearning and telling themselves maybe the timing was off. Maybe the timing was never the issue. Sorry. But I still have to give my flowers to the brave ones because they chose themselves, even though it was scary. And let's be honest, that is the foundation of a healthy relationship. So please don't give up. You just shot at the wrong person this time. The next one might just land. So don't just yearn. Keep trying. And then lastly, let's talk about the illusioned yearner because this is true for a lot of people. So I'm just going to hold your hands while we talk about this because you see, the thing with yearning for someone for a very, very long time is that your brain eventually doesn't just fall in love with this person, but with the idea of this person. Because here you are at 2 a.m., imagining what your life with this person is going to be like without actual information of who this person really is. And then you get into a relationship with this person, and then reality shows up. This person becomes very, very different from what you imagined, and then you're there, mourning something that you completely made up in your head. Now, real people are not like imaginary people. They have mood swings, they have bad days. Sometimes they forget to text back. They leave the dishes in the sink. They forget to leave the toilet seat up, and so on and so forth. So, while it's fun to imagine awesome scenarios, you also need to be considerate of the person you're yearning for because even they deserve true love. They don't deserve to be a consolation prize for a scenario that you've made up completely in your head. Well, I feel bad for what could have been. You also need to have an honest conversation with your person. Realize that this person is a real person. They're not just a figment of your imagination. They are not mind readers. They cannot, read to see the version of themselves you've created. So you need to have an honest conversation with your person and with yourself. Do you really love this person, or do you just love the idea of this person? And if you realize this is not who you loved and you rather stick with your imagination, then it will just be fair to leave that relationship because like I said, your person deserves to have real love, not just be a part of your made up scenario and made up relationship. And next we have the manifestors. Now I need you to understand this. Manifestors, they are not like us. They're not like us. They're not like us. No, for real, they're not. I mean, they saw their person probably across the room, and they were like, that person, that's mine. And what did they do? They just believed it with their full chest. While we were busy refreshing messages and going through reels, they were there, they were journaling, they were speaking it into existence, and sometimes it actually works. So if you're a manifestor and it actually works for you, please, please teach a class. I will be there. We will all be there because we need to know how to make the universe work for us. So the yearners, the ghost ones, the manifestors, the brave ones, and the illusioned yearners. I will give you, your flowers for loving deeply, and it's really tough in a world that shames vulnerability. You let yourself be vulnerable enough to love someone, but you need to understand that love needs air to breathe. It shouldn't just live in your head alone. You need to let it breathe. It needs honesty and it needs a real person on the other side of it. So you need to be honest with yourself. Yearning, there's nothing wrong with yearning. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We are all humans, and sometimes we just need a little bit of courage and a little bit of luck. So if you're a yearner, I just have one question for you. Are you really yearning or are you just afraid to be loved back? How about you think about that? And I'll see you on the next episode of The Talking Stage. Bye bye.